Hello, welcome back. We are back for our sixth episode of Let's Be Charmed. This is what's behind me, parts of it. That's up to the fifth block. So we are on number 6, and we are more than halfway through it because, as I recall, there are only 8 blocks. So we are more than halfway through, and we should be able to wrap this up in about 3 or 4 more weeks, maybe in time to get it prepared for somebody for Christmas. I don't exactly remember the whole size, but I'll get that out there. I'll find that for you. Um, Anyways, so glad you're able to join me today. Um, Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who follows, likes, uh, sends the hearts, the hugs, the um, subscribes. It means a lot to me. It helps me keep my channel going, and it helps to keep me going on a Sunday. It's the one day of the week that I feel like I actually have time to prepare and do it. All right, so let's get this show on the road. Here we go. We're down to the tabletop. As you see, I have my fabrics laid out. I have one that I've used a lot. These two I haven't used much at all, and I think this might be a new one that I added recently that I found. And it's okay. You can add to your stash of fabrics as you go along. You could add it to it. You can change it up a little bit. I'm still going with the light to medium to the dark, and that is still my desired direction. So here we go. Now, according to what I have prepared, we're going to start with the two outside ones. We're going to start with the lightest and the darkest, and we're going to sew 1 at 2.5 to each of these. Okay, so like last time, I'm just going to do one block, and then you guys can please feel free to chain stitch every single block together, because I'll be honest, it's faster, but I'll do that later off camera. Oh, sorry guys, I tend to hold it close to me. Okay, and then the other two, the two mediums, we're going to do 1 each of these. So how's everybody weekend going? It's been kind of interesting for me because I actually haven't cooked much since my hubby's been gone. And it's kind of weird. I'm not used to that. All right, so we're going to come over here to the other camera. And I have all 4. I have my 2 mediums, the 2 center colors. Those are stitched to the 6.5-inch piece. And then I have my lightest and my darkest, and they're stitched to the 2.5-inch pieces. Okay? Now we can do these all together, or you can do it when it's convenient for you, which is probably what I'm going to do. And remember how important it is to stay consistent with your 1/4 inch. Because even if your 6.5-inch block, when you're finished, winds up being smaller or larger, as long as all of them are, you should be fine. But if they're all over the place, some are 6.5 inch, some are 6 inches, this is where you're going to have a problem. So consistency is key. That's why they usually say if you start with one machine, try to finish with that machine. And I understand that completely because I keep testing that and I keep finding out the hard way that it doesn't work out so well. I was at a friend's house sewing the other day and used a different machine on something I was working on, and found out that, excuse me, found out when I got home that it actually, the 1/4 inch did not work as well as my other 1/4 inch foot. Even though they offered to give me a 1/4 of an inch foot, I hate bothering people, so I didn't take, well, that and my machine wasn't equipped to handle that particular foot. There was that too. Okay, quite my big one, but it'll it's here somewhere. I was cleaning up. If anybody knows what clean up means to me, it means eventually I'm going to lose it and remember what the heck I did with it. Because that, excuse me, is the story of my life. Oh, hey! Hey, Miss Sharon. Catch up will be very easy. You will find out. And just remember, if you can't find, for some reason you can't find the video on Facebook, you can go to my YouTube channel. All of them are edited, but they are all there on my YouTube channel. And you can catch every single episode. Catch up is going to be very, very easy because it's really not a very complicated. Darn it! I turned my. Okay, put that right there. Um, it's just not a complicated pattern, and each block is a lot of fun. Most of the blocks use all 4 colors or a 4 mini charm for each one, but there's only a couple that have less than 4. Hey, Susan needed help. Well, did you get it done? Did you get the science project done? Our resident teacher, actually, we have a lot of teachers in our quilt guild, and I'm just surprised. We have a lot of nurses too. Oh my gosh, it's amazing just to get to know the people in our quilt guild and to find out, where they're all from, where they're, you know, what their families are like, and how they come to quilting. It's just absolutely love it. I love it. I love my quilt family. My daughter gets on me. She says I do too much, and I'm like, well, I don't think so. I mean, my quilt family is really important to me. One of the first things I did to get to know people in my guild when I was new was I went to the retreat. Now, our retreat right now is actually kind of full, um, but there's almost always somebody at some point who drops out, so that is available. Okay, so here's what's next. Next, we're going to take these 2 pieces. Let's put these right here. We're going to take these 2 pieces, and we're going to take 1 for each of these. Okay? And then we're going to stitch those. Hey, did anybody come up with a better word than stitch or sew? Yeah, we have a wait list on the retreat. And I think we do every year, but this one is really early. I mean, we practically wound up with a wait list almost from the moment we opened the retreat. And it felt like retreats had been kind of cooling over the last last year or so, because people, after COVID, people finally got a chance to get out and do some fun stuff. And I thought, well, now they finally sowed those wild oats or got rid of their cabin fever, but I think it's actually still going pretty strong. Okay, let's get these over here. And we're going to stitch this. Now, if you've noticed, I have a different color because I finally used up most of that fabric I was using for my leaders and enders. And at one time, let me show you. At one time I was doing my leaders and enders as these little pieces right here. Let's see, pull them back a little bit so you can see them. As these little pieces here. Just little pieces of fabric that I would do my leaders and enders on. Look at this one. And my idea is that eventually I'm going to put all of these little pieces that I have into a quilt. So I just kind of save them, put them off to the side. At one point, though, I did have to finally get rid of a pile of them because I just had so many. Okay. All right, let's get back over here to the tabletop. Miss Jerry says, retreat is my vacation for the year. I hear you, Miss Jerry. I actually did quite a few, well, I say quite a few. I think Miss June had me beat on that, but I did like three or four retreats last year or this year or whatever year it was. And you know what? I had so much fun, but it was exhausting. It was, in fact, I got so many of my UFO fabrics done that I was searching for UFOs to work on, projects to work on, stuff that I already had waiting to be worked on, and I don't have a whole lot. Miss Claudine says that's what she likes to use fabrics for, or her scraps for, those leaders and enders. You put them together and you wind up with something pretty awesome by the end. And I agree, I love scraps. I did have to kind of give up on my scraps for a little while because they were taking over my sewing area. I wound up having like 5 bags, big bags of scraps. I had no idea I had even sewn that much, let alone wound up with scraps. And they weren't big scraps either. They were tiny scraps. Okay, so let's grab our fabrics here. Now, according to my diagram, my lovely diagram that you can't see, I have one like this. I have one like this. I'm looking because I'm trying to see which one, where my light go and where my other one go. So, and then like this. So the light, medium, and dark actually goes the 2 mediums, a light, and a dark. Now, this is how I did mine. You do not have to do them in this order. You can do them in light, medium, medium, dark. Light, lighter, medium, darker, medium, dark. You don't have to do them like this. This is how I chose to do it when I put them together. All right, let's get some pins. We're going to sew side A and side B. And of course, that's not really in there. I'm just calling it side A and B. And we're going to pin that. Now, on our next block, as I was looking at it, I realized, hang on, I gave myself a little too much room on that last one. I realized, you know, Miss Claudine, I was thinking the same thing. Miss Claudine says, I'll trade you some of your scraps so I'll have some different scraps. And I was thinking the same thing, that maybe I should trade with somebody and get some different colored scraps. That would be like way cool. Because, you know, sometimes when I look at my scraps, I'm like, okay, I've seen that particular piece of fabric so many times. So I think that's a great idea. Maybe we should do some kind of scrap club where we all swap off fabrics. What do you think? And then each of us make a block from those scraps they send us, one for us and one for whoever gave us the scraps. And then we can all make a quilt from it. Sounds kind of neat. Anybody want to try and put that together? Because I am not a good organizer. I hate to say it. Well, no, I've said it plenty of times. I'm a terrible organizer. So we're going to come over here and we're going to start. And if you get a little bit of fabric, because if you look right here, you see I have a little bit of white here. We're going to trim down all these blocks to 6.5 inches. I'm sorry, 8.5 inches. These are 8.5 inch blocks. Ooh, I got that messed up. You know, sometimes I think to myself, you know, if you just pull that pin just a little bit earlier, you'd be surprised. I guess if I put my glasses on, I'd actually be able to see that. I saw someone on TV and she rolls hers up with different scraps with ribbon and then she trades them with other. I love that. They call it a pretzel. I love that. I'll do that with you. I'll make some pretzels. Anybody else want to join the pretzel club? We can call it the pretzel club. Actually, I kind of like the Lady Dean Club. Maybe that's what we ought to call it, the Lady Dean Club. Actually, I think the emphasis needs to go on the Lady Dean. Lady Dean. I don't know. I'll figure it out. All right, let's come back to the tabletop again. All right, you guys, we're almost there. We are almost there. I'm gonna turn this a little bit just so I have ironing area. I love my iron. It really doesn't stay on as long as I would like it to. Set your seam. So I have the Rowenta, and I'm probably not pronouncing it right. Um, and it is the one that has the tank, and I love it. I love it. I just wish it would stay on longer. I wish I knew how to change it. I've looked at the manual, but I can't find a spot where it tells me how to do that. We can't. It has an automatic shut off, and after so many minutes, it just automatically shuts down, which I suppose is good. So anybody else want to join our Lady Dean Club or the Pretzel Club? Basically, you're going to bundle up some scraps, tie them off with a ribbon or another piece of fabric, and then we'll swap. I think I had this one on this side, and then this one on this side. Right? Yeah. Okay. Buttons again. I just think that if we did something like that, I think it would be important to say that um, we have to take a little bit of it, turn it into a block, and then share one of the blocks, make two of them, and then share one of the blocks with whoever gave us the pretzel. But you don't have to. You can just swap out pretzels. I don't know. I guess it's a modern version of the round robin. Okay. Let's go come back over here. Y'all, we're almost done. If you have a prayer request that you would like to ask prayer for, please feel free to put that in um, as soon as you would like, and I will make sure I add that to my prayer request, my prayer list. I just feel like it's one tiny way that I can give back to you guys for, um, all the times that you have been so wonderful to me. The least I can do is, thank God for my blessings and include, whoever in my prayers. Of course, I've got Joe in there too, and of course the country and our president and all the people who run it. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Got pretzel club. I still like the name Lady Dean, but if you know, you know. All right, y'all, here it is. This is our next block. You're going to make 6 of these. And if you hadn't figured that out, um, that's how many we're going to do. And you should have, there should be 24 of these. Here, let's flip that over. 24 of these total. So you should have 6, 6, 6, and 6, right? Yeah, 6 total. So 6, 6, 6, and 6. So 24 total of those. And then, and of course, you should have all the emails. If for some reason you've lost an email and you need the email again, just let me know and I'll send you the email over again. I don't mind. I've done it before. I'm happy to do it again. Let's go ahead and get back onto camera 4. There we go. That lovely camera. And my daughter keeps reminding me, my daughter Nicole, keeps reminding me, Mom, look into the camera. Okay, I'm trying. All right, y'all. So here it is. This is block or episode 6. And you do this how how you would like to have it laid out. I chose to do the lightest and the darkest in the center and put the 2 medium colors on the ends. Cameras are backwards for me. My brain doesn't go backwards. It barely goes forward. All right. Well, thank you, Miss Jerry. I do love this. When I put this quilt together, I was unsure, but I just felt like this was the right thing to do. And I am currently working on the next one, but I think the next one, if I have a picture of it ready, I might show you what the quilt's going to look like instead of surprising you. So if you think that's something you would like, I'll put a poll or something in my email. So go into not my email, I'm sorry, on my SRQ Facebook, the SRQ Facebook page, and go ahead and vote. Do you want to see the next quilt ahead of time, or would you like it to be a mystery? Would you like to only find out towards the end? Now this one, I mean, we could tell right away that it was, not a particular pattern, but the next one, I think you're going to love it. Yes, ma'am, Miss Sheila, I will make sure you get Joe's address. So, actually, I think I might post it. I will send you and Miss Claudine and Miss Jerry the email or the address because I said I would, but I'm also going to post it on the private page if that's okay. The Managed Patchworker private page. And remember, if you're out there and you're interested in joining this guild, there's a lot that goes on that you can see from the newsletter and from the other things that are happening. Maybe eventually you'd like to come to the retreats. You just need to be a member. And to be a member, you just have to pay the yearly fee, which is just a teeny tiny little fee, and that makes you a member. And eventually I'd like to see us include things like mystery quilts that we'll put on the page, but that's neither here nor there. That's just thoughts on my point. But anyways, we would love to have you as members if you're local, or even if you're not local. Maybe you're from another state and you would like to join us at some time. Maybe you visit Florida for part of the time, or you vacation here. Check us out. It's just like I said, it's a tiny yearly fee, and it does help our guild to grow and to be able to meet our, the things that keep us going, that help us keep the education going. Just started pouring down rain in my house. Well, then I should be seeing it very soon out here, I'm sure, because it usually comes off the water and just heads east. Okay, so again, here's this block for this week. It is episode 6. You're going to need 6 of these. Well, that's interesting. I didn't notice that before. Episode 6 has 6 of these. Okay. All right, ladies. Now we're down to the point where we're going to, and look, we're right at 4:30. And again, I'm not going to keep you on here. We're going to pray next. So if you're, just in it for the block, that's okay. You can just be in it for the block. Good time to hop off. And thank you so much for sticking with me through the video. And we're going to pray next. And know that you are appreciated and loved. And I will see you on the next week. But here we go. Prayers coming in. Whew. Father, thank you for once again another beautiful week, for bringing friends together, for showing compassion, for giving us the ability to love other people, to love strangers, to love our families, to pour out your love on others. Father, I ask you to cover this country in a hedge of protection. Father, I ask you to help us heal, help us to mend, help us to remember what this country was founded on. Father, I ask you to cover our president in prayer and in your protection. Father, if there's anything going on that he needs your help with, Father, I just ask you to speak to him. You have a direct line to all of us, Father, and I just ask you to reach in and touch him. Father, I thank you for the healing that you have done in my husband's hip. I just thank you for all the people you have put in his path, the hospitals, the doctors, the nurses, the attendants, the rehab home that he is in right now, and the people who are tirelessly his friends from an era from a long time ago who still come and sit by his side when his wife can't be with him right now. Father, I thank you so much for all you have done for us and for all you're going to do. Let your light shine through each of us so that people see your glory and know it's you and run to it. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, y'all. I hope that you have a fantastic day, a fantastic week. Enjoy your dinner. Mine's going to wind up being Chinese. My daughter's already told me, Mom, we're going to Chinese. So we're doing Chinese tonight. And I just thank you for joining me and sticking with me through all of these episodes, not just this one, not just this project, but all of the projects. You guys, you keep me going. You keep me going. You remind me that family is not just blood. Sorry, guys. Family is not just blood. Family are those people that are in your lives and love you and take care of you. And I feel like you guys take such good care of me, through your love and your likes and your well wishes and the tireless things that you've done. I can't even begin to tell you how much I appreciate it and think the world of you. And I hope that your week is amazing. From my heart to yours, y'all have a fantastic week. I love you.